Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I'm so sorry. Fighting with my dad has become one of the most constant things in my life. I'm never doing things correctly up to his standards. I'm either being too lazy, not helping out enough, gives him too much attitude when I speak, or I go out and I come home way too late for him. And all the arguments, they were the same. Him yelling at me, why don't you ever just listen to me? Why can't you just stay home? I don't understand you. And everything just became way too familiar. And as the arguments escalated, and the tension between us grew and grew, until his fingers finally went the side of my face, and every word that I've ever said, every emotion that I've ever felt, left me with the impact and momentum of his hands. And being told that I was gonna be what killed my dad, that I was gonna be the reason he died early, that made me hate him when I thought I never could. But how could I hate one of the people who has only ever loved me unconditionally? And I'm trying, Father, I'm really trying to love him and to forgive him, but I can't. And he made me feel so angry and terrible, but I made myself feel worse. Because how can I come to the point of hating him? How can I hate one of the few people put here on this earth to be there for me, from my beginning to their end? And I've been too busy growing up that I'm just also forgetting that he's growing old. And I'm trying, Father, to forgive him. I'm really trying. But I can't, and I don't know why.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I've always had a fear of public speaking, and whenever God calls me to serve and share my words, one question pops into my head. Why me? Why me, Lord God? It could have been anyone else, but God chose me. I'm too unworthy to be speaking about God, for any individual. And these feelings of unworthiness, they hold me back, they hinder me from His true plan for me. I doubt my own capabilities. And I know someone out there can do a much better job than I can. Anybody but me. There are not many instances where I've fully and confidently accepted God's calling. I've almost never responded with a full and entire yes. Because all my mind can think about is how much I can fail, how much I can let God down. Who am I? I am not worthy to be representing God, to represent His children. I can never visualize myself as a holy individual. Me, a child of God, I'm a sinner. And I will be a sinner for the rest of my life. I'm not worthy of anyone seeing me as an inspiration. Because all I do is go back to sin. Sin after sin, confession after confession. Let's just face it, I'm a hypocrite. A sinner who isn't as holy as everyone around me. But yet, God forgives me. He looks at me with His open arms. And who am I to receive His mercy?
sinned. I can't understand, Father. I don't know why are they acting this way. I'm just being myself. I thought it's important to stay and true to yourself no matter what. I live in this world where the saying, love yourself, are constantly in our minds. And that saying is something that I hold on to. Then I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. But on the other hand, my parents would get mad. Late night hangouts, skipping class, unreasonable poor grades, and getting in trouble in school. There was a time before I realized that a stream in my mother's eyes. This became a frequent thing. Get in trouble, mom yelling, and mom crying. But I thought I was just being myself. Why couldn't they understand who I am? Why are they screaming at me for things that made me happy? These thoughts turned into actions. I refused their advices and their saying. I cast them aside thinking I was right and they were wrong. I am right. Then more thoughts flowed in. What do they know? How could they possibly understand for who I am?
My God, why have you forsaken me?
Brothers and sisters, please welcome to the stage our speaker for Session 2, Relentless Mercy, our brother from New York, John Conception.